once a queen, I'm paving my way. Heartbreak, but I rise from the ash. Watch me dance while I'm making a splash. Ladies be women rising strong. Ladies be playing along. White chromosomes, so you so high. Cheating and scheming, they're behaving bad. Men behaving badly. Men behaving badly.
Hello, and welcome to the Men Behaving Badly podcast, where we talk about, well, exactly what it sounds like.
Men behaving badly.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
You're a man.
Oh, okay. That checked out. Yeah.
Do you behave badly?
I've been known to, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I try not to, but I've been known to.
Well, you better not anymore.
Okay, I'm not trying to.
We're going to teach you how to be good. Right, Ava?
That's our goal?
Yeah.
Just be good.
Yeah. So I'm Devette. That's Travis. And all the way in Arizona is Ava.
Hey.
And we decided to do this. Yeah. And before we go any further, though, okay, we have to have a serious discussion.
Oh, no. Why?
Because we don't want people coming for us.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have time for it. Ava don't have time for it. And we want to cross.
Anybody got time for that?
We want to cross our T's, dot our I's, makes the P's and the Q's.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we say men, we're talking about cisgender men. The way cis men move through the world, all the entitlement and mess that can come with it. This is a very specific experience, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to talk about men. It is still Women's History Month. So women get a little bit of a pass right now.
Unless they intersect, right? Like,
yeah.
Our goal is to talk about systems and how that plays in. So white supremacy, sexism, internalized racism, and all those things impact women, but it's through the patriarchy and toxic masculinity.
So the patriarchy, not the what's that other word? The one that we learned.
We're here to talk about men and toxic masculinity and systems, not to be a misandrist.
Misandrist. We're not practicing misandry.
We're not practicing misandry.
Yeah, so we have a little secret.
Just a little misandry.
Just a little misandry.
Okay.
So,
yes,
Travis, what is your role and what's going to happen in the show that people should know?
Well, you all have worked really hard all week researching a subject.
Yes.
And I have been kicking back, working on other projects, knowing that you're brewing something up.
Yes.
You've been picking a subject to talk about in relation to this whole mission that we have here. And I have to come in blind and give my reactions. And I'll do the best I can to give my honest reactions for me. And that's why I don't want to know the subjects, so that I can prepare myself and, even trick myself into thinking that I have a different opinion on something. It's always best right off the cuff, right? So,
right.
And most honest.
Yeah. So Travis is not.
I'm going to give my reactions. I can't speak for all of mankind.
Are you sure?
I can't speak for all cis white dudes or whatever, but I can speak for myself. So I'm here to give a reaction.
And what he's saying is he's our token white dude.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a nice way. That's a
nice way to say it. So we're going to ask him all the questions about white people.
Yeah.
All the questions.
And I'll answer for all of them.
Dudes.
Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to answer for everybody. Yeah. I'm going to answer for them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to be responsible for all of it.
Right.
That's what happens.
Black people have had to do it for years.
It's your turn. It's your turn.
Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Do it.
Thanks.
I'll take that responsibility, white people. I got you.
Oh, God. No, white
There you
people need to go sit down somewhere. So maybe you should just sit over there and listen.
I'm listening.
So we know that men make it too easy sometimes, right? Like we could just have come with 19 stories and just kept reading stories, right? But no, we're going to be very, very mindful, which is, it does take a little toll on poor little Devette. She's a little distraught right now. But I am glad to do this. We are here to ask why. We didn't just want to do another one of those shows where we're just two black women shitting and ripping on dudes. Although that will happen because they make it so easy. But like, why do these patterns keep happening? Like, why are people so toxic? Like, this is not just coming out of someone's little pinky finger because it's a Tuesday. Although Tuesdays are great. Taco Tuesdays. Oh, can we have some tacos?
Yes, we can have some tacos. Yes.
Yeah, tacos.
Yes, like
Travis
what
makes.
she means is, can
Travis,
you make some
Travis
tacos? She doesn't mean can we have some tacos?
I mean, we can order from
Y'all
Taco
catch
Bell.
that? She means Travis. How about you make some tacos?
Taco. He ain't gonna let
Yeah,
me order from Taco Bell, Ava.
No.
Get that man in the kitchen where he belongs. Okay.
Right, in the kitchen where he
In the
belongs.
kitchen where he belongs.
Right.
Fine.
So, Ava, what is this not?
The what?
What is this not? What are we not doing?
We're not just going to drag men,
No.
right?
No, why would we do that? That's
What
not
we're
nice.
gonna do is try to look at these small things that enter into our lives. So, you know, the harmless jokes, the little microaggressions, the internet comments, and then explore how that then shows up in the larger scheme of things, how it comes into play in the lives of women and men, because unfortunately, men also suffer under a system that is imbued with toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Right? Men also have to deal with that. So I think our goal is to unpack that and then try to see if we can encourage people to do better, to question how they act personally and with one another. How do men show up for each other?
Right. How do y'all show up for each other?
Mostly they don't anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So we're going to make sure that Travis shakes his head a lot.
Yep.
And say, wait, hold up a minute. If you heard our teaser, he was dumbfounded. Like, you should really go back and listen to the teaser because we got him right in. We went right in there and just said, hey, Travis, look at this. And he was very, very.
And it was a subject. I mean, we talked about, if anyone hasn't listened to the teaser, we talked about men, semi-celebrity men who make diss tracks on their exes or their exes and also their baby mamas. And yeah.
And I think
I'm familiar with diss tracks, but not the current batch of this that's happening.
Right.
Where, you know, I'm used to, you know, East Coast, West Coast tracks or something like you're
off on everybody at the end of the song and everybody and their mama.
No Vaseline type.
Right.
Yeah. But this is,
we got Drake had a diss tracks.
Yeah, but the new men are making diss tracks about their exes.
And so at some point this weekend, Ava and I are gonna go live on TikTok
with the diss track,
and we're gonna write a diss track using chat
freestyle.
No, we're gonna use ChatGPT to write a diss track,
and then
we're gonna perform it on the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ava did. Oh no,
you know what? It's time for us to get into what we here for today. Because now the vet's trying to get me to rap. That is not my ministry. I have told you before.
So here's the thing: if you have witnessed some nonsense and immediately thought you should text the group chat, this show is for you.
Text it to us.
But also email it to us. We have an email and it is men behaving badly pod@gmail.com. We also have not a Twitter because Twitter sucks. We have a TikTok of the same name, and
I'm sure there'll
can-
be a YouTube soon.
and it'll be so awesome if you do that. And there will be a YouTube, and you can find the first teaser episode. It's out there. There's a poll. Travis did a poll, so you should answer the poll.
Best diss tracks of all time.
Best diss tracks of all time. Yeah. You can put your own if you don't like it, but you know what? Welcome to Men Be Behaving Badly. I know they get mad when I say that, but that's
it always has an extra B.
Yeah, I know. I always
behaving badly. Podcast.
Yes,
it already works.
Let's get into
Ava, I'm with you. It already works.
Get into it, bitches. Let's go. Go drink some water. We'll be right back after this break.
You thought you played me, boy, you made a mistake. Your lies and your games, I'm ready to shake. With every beat I rise, I'm taking back my power. Watch me bloom like a flower, and it's fun. Men be scheming, yeah, and men be cheating, yeah. Men be scheming, yeah, and men be cheating. Men behaving badly. Men behaving badly. Men be scheming, yeah, and men be cheating, yeah. Men be scheming, yeah, and men be cheating. Men behaving badly. Men behaving badly.
And we're back from the break, folks. I hope everybody's doing okay. You drank some water.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated.
I stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated. So now we're gonna dive into one of the most self-absorbed millionaires and billionaires of our time, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon. So yeah. Thought we were gonna let that one slide, didn't ya? Him and his broodmare.
All right.
And it's all the chaos
Let's
that
get
comes
into
with
it.
You know what? Don't be rushing me. Okay, so I need y'all to bear with me because this is a lot of folks to talk about, okay? Yeah. A lot of folks. We gotta break down this family
specifically
tree.
Talking about his relationships.
I said his broodmare of baby mamas.
Okay. I'm just clarifying for myself.
Okay. Right? You know, this thing is more tangled than the Tesla wiring system. It's just so many. So let's be real about Elonia. He is a self-absorbed racist billionaire with a ton of insecurities. Just look at his plastic surgery. I don't know if y'all seen it. The photo circulating of him before and after.
Wait, that's after surgery? He chose to look like that?
That is how he chose to look, boo-boo. He looks like Michael Myers, but not Michael Myers. But like Michael Myers playing what's his name? With hair.
Austin Powers?
No, the evil guy.
Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil, but with hair.
I think that's what didn't SNL bring Mike Myers in to play?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Elonia?
he did play Elonia, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just how Canadians look. I don't know. Maybe it's just how Canadians look. Maybe he wanted to look like Michael Myers.
I don't know.
I digress. So at his core, right, he uses his wealth, his power to manipulate situations, and his his personal life is a fucking shit show, if we think about it. So, okay, let's get through these names. Okay, y'all ready? So let's meet the broodmare harem, and their offspring. So Justine Musk, they were married from 2000 to 2008, and they have 5 kids: Xavier, Griffin, Damien, Saxon, and Kai. They were born 2004, 2006, 2006, and 2008.
Wow. Yeah, triplets.
They're triplets.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Justine and Elon's marriage ended in divorce, and she is not a fan. She has been very vocal of the emotional toll that her relationship took on them, like emotional toll on her. All right. So, marriage 2, they did it twice. It was so nice. They did it twice.
Yeah.
So they were married from 2010 to 2012, and then they remarried in 2013, and then they was married till 2016.
What was wife number 2's name?
Tallulah Riley.
Okay. I'm just checking because with Elon, she might not have a name. She might have a serial number.
Or a line or a symbol like print.
Morse code, a dot dash or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Barcode,
Now,
yeah.
I didn't know this, but he was married to Amber Heard.
Was he?
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, she gets around, apparently, Amber Heard. I mean, sorry, Amber, we should not make fun. They were married from 2016 to 2018. So, like, when was she with Johnny Depp then? Because, like, I'm so confused.
It was before that.
She was with Johnny Depp before Eli?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they had no children together, but their brief relationship just adds another layer. I don't think they were married. I just think they were, like, entangled.
Together.
They had an entanglement.
Okay. We know about entanglement.
Yeah, we do.
Cool.
We do. Okay, so then number 4 is Grimes or Claire Boucher. So apparently they're still together. I'm so confused. They're still together. Okay.
I didn't think so.
I didn't think so either, but I don't know. Maybe somebody can check on that while I'm running my mouth.
I will.
So we have Musk, who we all know, but his name is like X-A, the A and the E stuck together, and then another A and a dash and a 12. It's supposed to mean something. I thought they were trying to name him Twitter, but that they wouldn't let her name him Twitter. That's why they changed the name to X, because that's why the app got the name change, if everybody didn't know, because they would not let her name the baby Twitter. And so we just call him X. He was
Grimes and Elon have been broken up since 2022.
Okay, so since 2022. Thank you, Travis.
Okay.
Sometimes research is wrong, because I really thought he has a new girlfriend, right? Or maybe
Kim and Grimes have more kids, right?
Well, we're gonna get to that. Yes. So we got Exa Dark Serial Musk. She was born in December of 2021, and then they have a third child whose
This is
name.
my favorite name. This is my favorite name
of the third child
of all names. Yeah.
What's the third child's name, Travis?
Techno Mechanicus.
Like the thingy?
I'm sorry. What? Okay. All right. Listen, I'm not gonna make fun of nobody's name.
Wait, Travis.
But that's the name of like a transformer.
It is like Transformers in disguise. That's not techno who?
That
Techno
that
what?
feeds into my theory. I'm a hold off, but that feeds into my theory.
Just hold on.
Who else?
Hold on. Wait, what? I'm still stuck on. Is it really a transformer?
No, but it sounds like the name of a transformer. Also, it makes me think of if people are
DJs. It makes me think of the
techno.
the turntables.
Technics.
Yes.
Technics, the brand.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, there was a member of the rock band Guar. Guar, if you guys don't know them, they dress up in monster costumes or whatever and play like thrash metal and hard rock. And one of the members was Techno Destructo. But that was his matey-uppy like fantasy name, like we know it's not like.
Okay, these poor kids. And I mean, Grimes ain't, she.
Techno Mechanicus.
Yeah. Okay. So like Grimes, like she had to get on Twitter to get to his attention about their kid being sick, and I think it was the youngest one. Like what? Yeah. So okay.
I had heard that too.
So Siobhan, is it Zills? They were together. They started dating in 2021. which is weird because if he didn't break up with, I don't know. And then they had 2 children, and they have twins that were born via surrogate. Um, he kept this kind of private, and then the media found out. And then there's a new baby, and I don't have the new baby's mom's name, and we don't have the new baby's name because nobody knows the new baby's name.
So
Um,
that's
like
14.
Yes, he is at 14 kids now. So we've met the brood and we know who the moms are. So does anyone have any burning questions, or are we just sitting here pretending this isn't a mess? Because guess what? What's coming, as my friend Liz would say, it ain't good.
I told you my theory on Elon. I don't think he's from this planet. I think he is literally trying to populate the earth. I think that's why these children have serial numbers instead of names in any language. Because, feel free to name your child any language that you like, but it shouldn't be a mathematical equation.
Pump up the jam.
But, I think at this point, it's just specimen. It's six women that he has children with, some of which he's having multiples via surrogate. Yeah, I told you. I don't think he's from this planet. And I think this is part of his vast conspiracy to just have little Musk. It's like, where did he come from? Right? Was there like a total eclipse of the sun? Like
Canada.
Was it a little shop of horror? No, he's from South Africa.
No, he is from Canada. Like his mom is from Canada, his dad is from South Africa. And like his story is interesting. We are going to cover it on the Make It Make Sense podcast because we need to make sense of this fool. But yeah.
My theory is that he's these kids are an experiment of some sort.
I feel like he treats them as a product. They're a product of his inventions, his creation. So he names them weird shit like he names the rest of his products.
But and the first ones have normal names.
Well, he's evolved. He's evolved.
These are the later model Teslas.
Yeah, these are the later models. He's gone farther into.
How did Tallulah escape no kids?
Because she probably escaped. That's the key word.
Maybe she wasn't able to. We don't know the situation.
Yeah.
Maybe they tried and she couldn't. But I really feel like he feels like these are products, and so he names them.
Well, his dad has 20 kids, and he's still having kids because he just married his 35-year-old stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Your face, girl. Your face. Wait, you didn't know that? Oh, no.
I did not.
Yeah. I left that out. I didn't leave it in the prep. Yeah.
All right. Let's continue.
So let's talk about the larger picture because, this is.
But let's talk about what's the problem here because.
Yeah, there's a problem.
He can afford it. Right.
We're going to get into
financially.
That. Yeah, we can get into. We're going to get into that. Right. So this isn't just about Elon, right, and his brood, right? This is about how this plays into women, especially Black women, because how we are seen and how we are treated. Now, yes, definitely, I will pull poor white women into this because you have like the trailer park mom moniker, right? Although it doesn't get talked about as much as Black women because we're thrown and thrust into the public memory, right?
If you want to hold up a picture of someone who has too many children, people's idea of too many children.
You're not holding
whether
up
or not that makes
Travis.
You a good parent.
Right.
Pull up a picture of a Black woman, whether that's a reality for Black women or not.
or a Latino family or
or
something.
Right.
Latino women. Exactly.
Right.
Even though we
It's gonna be
know,
black and brown women. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be a
Yeah.
white girl, right?
Probably
yeah,
not.
So
even though
like
we know statistically that's not true.
he
Yeah.
is the richest man in the world.
Right.
But this is like a free for all, right? And so like how does the chaos of Musk's family dynamic tie into the broader, social, political things that we're dealing with today, right? So first off, classism and privilege. So the politics of privilege, right? His entire existence is built on it. He has more wealth than entire nations do, right? Like think about the continent of Africa, right? Like where he's born, he was from, and he's got more wealth than that whole continent that's bigger than all of the continents. He has the luxury of being an outlier in the public eye. His because it's weird, right? Like we do think this is weird.
It's unusual.
No, it's weird.
It's not normal.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna he's like it doesn't get the same scorn as a working class or black family woman would face.
Black and brown families
Right.
absolutely would face
Right. So when you have
more
this much,
criticism.
right, when you have this much money, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so cute, little X. Oh, he's so adorable. Oh, it's so great." And so he's celebrated for having this many children, right? Like he's helping to further the what? The white race. And so, but if I, like, this is classism, right? If I, a black woman, were to have multiple children with multiple fathers, I would be labeled as irresponsible, unfit, a drain on society. So that's sexism and classism right there. And this double standard exists. And it shows the glaring disparity between wealth and how it insulates people from scrutiny. And then while women of color are like punished for the same thing, like the same behavior.
Well, even if so, this is absolutely classism, but the way black and brown women are viewed when they have large families is the same. They're viewed with the same negativity, even if they can afford it, right?
Oh my God, yes.
People will act like this is about having more children than you can afford. And since he can afford so many kids, it's it's no one's business. But there are no families that are like large black and brown families that will get like a TLC show like 19 Kids and Counting.
The closest we came was that black family with the sextuplets, right?
They had the sextuplets, yeah. But when you're dealing with minorities who have multiple children, they're not afforded the same kind of space to just be who they are. The assumption is that they're having more children they can afford, whether that's true or not. And also, when you see a black or brown woman with several children, even as few as 2, they can get like comments about whether or not the children have the same father. Yep. And those attitudes are very negative, but Elon is up to 6 partners that he's had children with.
Right. So the other thing I was thinking about the Anderson kids. Remember the Andersons, like Shemada and Warren and Mark? So they were kids that went to our high school and they were brilliant musicians, right? Like they could all, like 3 of them could play all 4 of the string instruments in a quartet. And I had the opportunity and the wonderful grace to be stand partners with Warren, and Shemada sat in my section. And they had, I think it was either 3 or 4 younger siblings, and they weren't the, like, their family was not like, they weren't like the poorest of poor, but they weren't like my family, right? And so there were like times where I thought I knew that they might have felt like out of place, and I just like, and people would look down on them because they weren't dressed like we were, or like, and just like when I met their parents the first time, they just were humble people, right? Like they came to this country so that they could have a better life, and they just lived differently than we did. It wasn't that they could not afford their family or whatever. And I just think about like, so is this him being South African? Like, is this like because he grew up like he has all these siblings now, right? Like, because his dad has been repopulating the earth. Is this equivocal? Like, is it because they're a part of that movement, or is it just because he's irresponsible?
I think it's a third option in my opinion. And I think um Elon has found a system. I'm just speaking in my opinion of what's going through his head. Okay. I think he's found a system for running a business and also running his life. And now he's implementing those same values on a government that we're watching in real time. And it's all about restructuring like any kind of organization into a corporation that produces more and better things.
So he's
Like
trying to
part of the
produce
what
better
he does
kids.
well. It's part of what he does well because we know already that he isn't a scientist and he doesn't invent shit, even though
Right.
he may have done a few little innovations or whatever, but he doesn't really invent shit. What he does is restructure things so that they run efficiently and well. And he's proven that he's done that at times and other times failed at it miserably. And I think he implements that in other parts of his life. So when it comes to raising a family, he treats it more like impersonally speaking, but like a production line, almost like a production line.
Yeah.
And he perfects the product as it goes on and decides that, no, I want to start naming them things like this and this and this. And he's doing the same thing with our government now. And in business and in his life, he has more opportunity to allow for failures once in a while, where you can't do that in government.
No,
because people will die.
People will die. Right.
You know, and
so yeah, I just
that's
like, so
that's
we
my
talk
view
about,
on it.
yeah,
I don't
so
think it's irresponsibility. I think it's planned, but I also don't think it's some part of um his his plot to populate the world. Um,
okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion,
So,
I think he's just pumping them out and trying to get better at it as he does. You know, assembly line shit.
ugh,
He's the new Henry Ford
of babies?
Of everything.
of everything, of governments, of corporations, of babies,
Of space?
of this is a better way for us of doing things. And that's like his whole idea on everything, is that I can help come up with better ways of doing things. I can come up with better ways to run Twitter. I can come up with better ways to go to space. I can come up with better ways to build a car and run a car. I can come up with better ways to have babies and name them.
It's not working.
So the question for me is, how disposable does he view these children?
That's the question.
That's the
when
question.
he pumps out the next model, is it because there's a flaw in the previous model in his eyes, right? Like how involved is this man with raising his children? We're at 14 at this point, and the ex is going onto his social media platform to tell him your child has a health issue.
I need you to call me.
I'm not concerned with that model. It has a flaw. We're going to recall it to the factory. I have to focus on the next model. He can afford to do these things.
Right.
With businesses, with products, because he has so much wealth that he can fail.
At everything.
Like he's allowed to fail.
Yeah.
And so many of us are not allowed to fail. We have to fix what we have, what's broken.
Right.
Where Elon gets to go, oh, that didn't work out the way I thought it would, and just
we'll try something else.
And currently he's doing that,
Right.
with our government.
Okay, so racism and double standards. So this speaks to a larger issue in our culture, and it's baked right into our politics, like it's in there. So we clearly have, if you didn't know, there's a political divide. I'm sure y'all are well versed, right? And so there's a between the political elites, those who operate in the rare field of air of extreme wealth, power, and influence, and then there's
privilege,
and then there's the rest of us assholes, right? And then oh my god, my fucking words, particularly the working class folks right now, we're struggling to get by, right? So that's classism. And then so when you have no money, you don't have you can't you don't oh no, excuse me, when you have money, there's their own set of rules. I wish I could get a copy of that rule book so I could understand because I mean I understand, but I want to see their rule book because their rule book is definitely different than ours. So like ignoring parental responsibility, I guess you can treat women like any way you want.
That's the thing about privilege, though, and their rules is that they can always move the line.
Right. Well, the line has been moved. It's been steadily been moving since 2016. Right.
There are no rules.
There are no rules. Okay. So then, when you don't have wealth, societies like this on you, right? Microscopic, right? And everything is nitpicky. I was just talking to Travis's lady love yesterday. We went on a little outing and we were just talking about like how perfect I have to be outside, right? And so like this lady got really mad because she felt like I was in her way. And we were you've been in Joann Fabrics, right?
Yes.
And you've been in Joann Fabrics, and you're at the place where they cut the fabric for you, right? So I was as close to Ania as I could be, my friend Ania, and I was sitting on my walker. So I was really trying to be mindful of not being in anyone's way who wanted to walk behind me.
Yeah.
Now, this big dude came through, like big, tall, like Travis, but like a bigger dude. And he walked past me, no problem. But here comes grumpy old ass white lady, excuse me. And I was just like, you could have just said, excuse me, as you walked by. Why did you have to have a whole ass attitude? Like, and so then Ania did not like it. And she was like, you could say, excuse me, nicely. She's not in your way because that's just Ania. But like, it's like, I'm not allowed to take up space as a Black woman. And then like, I'm conscious. Okay. So I'm so conscious of my body, right? And I have lost a lot of weight, but I still think thank you, Travis. I still think I'm like 400 pounds. But like and I don't think privileged people and like especially white people, they don't think about the space that they're taking up ever.
They right there. That's at the heart of what privilege is, and what the problem is.
They don't think about it, and I'm constantly thinking about it, and I don't want to think about it anymore. I just want to be able to plop down, sit like a dude, but because I do sit like a dude, and just take up space, and
be unapologetic of it.
Be so unapologetic about it. And then the lady at the desk, she's like, you don't have to move. She's like, they can go around you. You're getting your fabric. Like, you're not even in her way. And like she said it so loud. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Like, I really am conscious, especially because the walker, like so many people have kicked my walker, kicked me, kicked my feet. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I'm like
sorry, I just
as Travis just steps on my foot. Like,
I didn't even do it.
We are this wrong people. We trying to sit at this tiny desk, and we both have like 7 foot tall legs. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, like the police, like imagine the police scrutinize us like all the time. Like Travis lives on the far south side of the city, right? And I have to drive all the way from here, all the way back to the northwest side. And so I am super conscious of like how I'm driving, where I'm driving, what lane I'm driving in, how fast I go until I get from over on this side of the city. And I know for sure if I go 70, I'm gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
I know the
You have
sheriff,
someone like
but
Elon who has never had to concern himself with taking up space, um, has never had to worry about how he moves through the world because the world will move around him.
right. So
And
you have go ahead.
that's at the very core of his beliefs, is
Right.
that he can make the world move around him and his ideas.
Right, exactly. So then you have to like take about like through the lens of racial justice. So we see how race interacts with class, which people for a long time didn't want to talk about that, right? Like racism and classism were two separate things, but they intersect. Like everything intersects. And so Musk has this like absurd public family life without the judgment, right? And it's because he is wealthy. But like women find themselves in these complex systems and they're judged immediately, and often stigmatized in a way that Musk would never. And this goes for black men too, right? Like, in some cultures, how many kids you have is revered, right? Like that's you making sure that your family is gonna last for generations. But like in American culture, there's like this double standard. And it's just it plays out to how we're portrayed in the media, how we're portrayed in politics. And so like if a woman has multiple family or multiple kids from different fathers, um it's like they're failing instead of like the dad being responsible. And then if you add a billionaire to that, like, oh well, he can afford it, right? And he's a visionary and he lives outside of societal norms.
But there's
And
always that talk like he can afford it. No one is saying that Elon Musk's children are going without basic needs financially.
right.
The question is that our only barometer of how many children one should have? It's like, oh, however many bills I can pay, however many bedrooms I can fit into this house. Like there's a lot more to being a parent than providing, food and clothing, which,
Yeah.
not to downplay the importance of that, because that's absolutely should be a consideration. If you're thinking about having children, whether or not you can afford to feed and clothe them should be a thought. But also, you also have to be able to give them more. And so what is he giving to them? And
Nothing.
so when we are looking through that, when we talk about class and race, because we cannot separate the two as much as people would like to, you end up in this weird situation for, I think, Black men who have to live at that intersection of race and class.
Yep. And yep.
But also can see, a wealthy white man get a pass for his behavior. There comes a thing with like within marginalized communities where it's like, why can't I have that?
Right.
Like, why can't I do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you're not able to do that, even if you can afford it. Like, there are Black men who have wealth, but would absolutely still be stigmatized
Nick
for
Cannon.
having so many children with so many partners.
Nick
and
Cannon.
Rightfully should. Like, we should ask the questions of, if you are having all of these children, yes, you can afford it, Nick Cannon, Cam Newton. Yes, you can Future. Yes, you can afford to have these children financially. But can you afford to have them emotionally? You are, in fact, leaving behind a string of broken homes. As much as they would like to say, no, I have a good relationship with my children's mother, that the homes are still broken. You are not in the house with your kids every single day.
Right.
You have so many, you can't even devote a day to each child.
It's too
Right.
much.
Just paying the bills is not enough.
No.
Like that kid isn't gonna grow up and finally get to adulthood and be like, well, not having a father in my life all the time
Was so great.
it was great because I had all my bills paid and I didn't have to want for nothing, like
Right.
no, it's completely irresponsible. Now, if you're having 14 kids and you are spending all of your time devoting your life to be the best dad possible for all 14 of those kids, and you want to just have a large family, but you want to be devoted to that family, that's one thing. But the reason I think we're criticizing him here is that, like we said before, he's leaving them behind, like past models. And just because they're getting
seems to be
getting some
the
money.
only one that's getting the attention right now. Like,
yeah, because he's
and
the
That's
current
the body
model.
shield. Is
Yeah.
X the one that's the body shield?
human body
The human
shield.
shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to as we get closer and closer to landing this plane, you know, think we were talking about black men, right? And like how this has had a damaging effect on our relationships with black men and how we interact with them. Like it's like it reinforced unhealthy family dynamics like we're just talking about, right? So like if we see a prominent man that's non-black or non-brown and he's out here doing this, and then so we
Right.
got black men out here now doing it. We got your Nick Cannons and your Cam Newtons and your these prominent people joining the Quiverful movement and saying I got all these kids. Like this is creating less pressure for black men to what we would say do the right thing, right? Like just like be good dads, not have multiple children with multiple women. Now, as a person who loves differently, right? Like as a person who lives poly and who is into ethical non-monogamy, like that shit happens, right? Like you could have a baby with your partner, right?
Yeah.
And that could not be your primary partner. But you still have to find a way to create a family for that child. And I know people who do that perfectly. A friend of mine, she was married. She had a child with her son, right? They went into
she had a child who is a son.
Oh my gosh, she had a child with her husband.
I don't think your friend had a child with her son.
That's
a whole different
I
family.
think that's
a whole different episode, ladies and gentlemen. That is a different
episode. Okay, can you see we've been at this all day? She has a child with her husband. He's her ex-husband now, but so they had this child together. They never made that child feel like he was any less important, right? And then they took the time to have the child get introduced to like the partners that stayed, right? And so now they have heard the dad and the mom have since divorced, but like this kid has so many people in his life that love him, including his dad,
who's still there
in his life, right? So like, how is Nick Cannon doing that? And this is one kid, but my friend's partner, he's got 3 girls, but that's a family, right? Like you have to figure out now if Nick Cannon is getting all them kids together and all their moms together, and they like I thought they was gonna polycule it up. I thought they was all gonna get into be in one house.
I thought
that's what I thought that was gonna happen.
Land and build a couple of houses.
He was talking, but I still ain't seen no house built because like there is a way for that to work where them kids house. Right, that's what I'm talking about. But like when and I know all of those, like one of those women is a DJ, like she got her own life. They were never supposed to be together, right? Like that was not what they were gonna do. And that situation we're not being told all of the ins and outs of that situation.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And that is being scrutinized for what it looks like it is on the surface. But that's because we're not ready as a nation to embrace the fact that one, we can love more than one person at a time. Like, if you want monogamy, that's like, you have every right to have the type of relationship you want to have. But we live in a puritanical Christian society, and I don't think people understand that that's how that gets on it. But what Elon Musk is doing is completely different. He is trying to repopulate the earth so there's more white babies. And I'm just going to say it out loud because his dad has said all but such, is that there's not enough white babies, so I'm going to have babies until I die. So now
when we're talking about this, because our focus is to think about how this affects like the larger society,
right?
It's important to note that you have someone like Elon, like his father, or even we mentioned Nick Cannon, Cam Newton. Cool. I don't know the particulars of their relationships or how active, from the outside they look very active. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
but it's important to see that the responses to these men who have multiple children with multiple partners seems to still be that the women are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
even if the woman on this side only has children with Elon, she's still viewed as, well, you're part of this mess, right? And that's your fault. You chose to have kids with him. He has 4, 5, 6, 12 children with 5 other women. You may only have your one with your one partner, but you're part of his larger
family, like his larger
group.
mess. Yeah.
And so the negativity is still on the women. Nick Cannon talks about having all of his children, how he wants more kids, he wants to be a father to a large family, how he wants them together. People still look at the women he has children with as,
are they crazy?
Are you crazy? Or they're accused of being gold diggers. Well, you want to have Nick Cannon's kids because he has money. They want to have Elon's children because he has money. And it seems like even when the behavior that society does not like is being done by the man, it's still the woman's fault somehow.
Everything is our fault.
Even though the case is very much the opposite, and Elon or Nick Cannon are coming from all the place of power in all the situation, and they're taking advantage of that. They've got all the money, they've got all the celebrity. Meeting them is intoxicating. You know what I mean? Just on the fact of who they are.
I mean,
and they
Nick
need
Cannon
to be
wanted
even
to
more vigilant of being responsible about that.
Hey,
I know meeting me is special. You know what I mean? Just meeting me, shaking my hand is special for a lot of people. So I need to take relationships with that much more caution because I don't want to be using these people. You know what I mean?
I mean, if under the advisement of a doctor, I can't say I wouldn't let Nick Cannon put one in there. I'm just being
but that's the agreement you would come to.
Right. But also we need to understand that like society expects women, and especially Black women, to put up with neglect, mistreatment, all the emotional labor, while our white and wealthy counterparts are allowed to live in laps of luxury and be exempt from consequences. So we are despite being the Black backbones of society and of our families, are constantly disrespected and undervalued. And let's finally talk about like the broader political implications. So in a society where wealth shields you from consequences, we have to ask, what happens when the elites like Musk set the stage for what's considered acceptable behavior? Politicians are quick to protect the interests of the wealthy, right? Turning a blind eye to their criminalizing behaviors of the less privileged, especially in Black communities, and the power structure in place perpetuates the inequality, and they use figures like Musk to justify why the rich should not be held accountable for their actions. So we have a rapist president, a sexual assaulter
Who also
president,
has multiple children with multiple
multiple
women,
women, and
multiple
then
broken homes. He's been
multiple
divorced twice.
right? And then he has been sentenced 39 times, right? He has 39 felonies, right?
39 felony convictions.
Right. And he's the president of the United States. And Travis can't even get a gun license. Right? Like Travis has served his time. He has given back to society. He's more of an upstanding citizen than I am. I speed.
That's something
Travis
to note.
does not.
I'm going to send you something later on, but I definitely want to put a pin in that because there's another situation we should talk about at a later date.
Okay. So yeah, Travis is white. Y'all can see. Look at that beautiful white porcelain skin. Like he's a white Pollock, and he can't even get his. Like you can vote though, right? You got that
because
right
because in the U.S. wealth, Black people cannot become wealthy enough to
ever
elevate themselves out of their race.
No, you can't.
And that really is something
stop trying.
That is very difficult for some Black people to understand.
However, Snoop Dogg don't understand it. That's why his ass is down there scratching his own 1 and 2s because his DJ refused to perform.
For white Americans, the lack of access to wealth can certainly diminish your whiteness.
Yes.
Right.
Because they be fucking around and find
not
out.
Quite as white
as you thought you were.
That's why they don't have the funds.
They should come over to the dark side.
It's a curious dichotomy.
Yeah. So let's remember something as we wrap up, because I'm tired of talking about this fool. It's about the systems that allow him to operate like this. While working class families, especially Black families, are held to higher standards. And as long as these systems stay in place, we will continue to see a country that privilege the rich, while women, and especially women of color, are expected to carry the emotional and physical burdens of the society that we are tired of saving. So wait, we have to do one more thing, okay? Because we gotta land this. We gotta land this plane.
Land the plane.
So,
because it seems like we're talking about two very different situations,
right?
Isaac Hayes and his
social media.
Why are we talking about Elon and his
Leon? So wait. So when we look at the treatment of women, especially in the public eye, the way both Isaac Hayes treated Francesca and how Elon treats his broodmares, they're more connected than you think they might be. Do you have any idea, Travis, before I go on my little soliloquy, what do you think connects the two stories? How do they both
how do they both gel with each other? I mean, we talked about before how Isaac Hayes is, publicly shaming and disrespecting women, and we talk about Elon treating him almost like they're a production line, and it just comes down to not treating women equally when it comes down to it, and from the way that Isaac Hayes is holding himself to a double standard that he doesn't, I'm not struggling with it, really. It just comes down to respect. It just comes down to respecting women, treating them as you're really treating them as your equals.
So Ava and I talked a lot about this before we were getting our shit together, because we got to be together. And so one of the ways, so we were thinking about both of these cases highlight power, wealth, and privilege, and how it's used to undermine women, because it always is. There's 9,000 freaking TV shows out there about how a woman will get just as close to something, and then here comes some dude or some person undermining them, Scandal, watch it, the whole thing, And then how privilege is also used to undermine women, especially women of color, and we're expendable, right? And then this makes it convenient. So like you said, in the case of Francesca and Isaac, you see the same dynamics as you would do with Musk and his broodmares. He used his billions, his wealth, his status to dodge responsibility. Like, I'll just throw money at it, right?
Yeah.
And then Hayes, he doesn't have to answer to anyone, so neither does Hayes. Like, who does he have to answer to?
Because
Absolutely.
he's the CEO.
Right.
So
he don't have that right.
It's wealth combined with power and
white supremacy.
And even though Isaac Hayes the third, being a Black man, has to contend with racism, he's given this ability to still look at women as being lower on the totem pole, so to speak, right?
Right.
You know, Francesca Ramsey did not serve him in the way in which he wants to be served, and therefore can be publicly attacked in the hopes that he will have the support of other men like him who also look at women as having to serve. Elon can treat the women in his life that he has had children with as if their job was to serve him. They've provided him with a product and he can then discard them. And then the people who come along and also support him can also treat those women like that. Like, we have repeatedly referred to them as broodmares, not as a way to disrespect them, because that's how we view them. But that is how he has treated them. He is treating them as if they had the job of providing him with
a seed,
with his product. Oh, I hate that term, his seed. Can we ban that? Can Book Talk, please?
Yeah, ban the word seed.
Collectively come together and ask authors, and I read a lot of smut. Can we just ban
the word seed
from the conversation?
Oh.
Because
it's gross. It's so
what
gross.
Are they doing, right?
Planting. They're planting.
If you're planting it, like, children are not trees.
They're not.
It's not a garden. It's not. Please.
Yeah, but that's like those are all the things that men
Travis,
have. Men
do me
have.
a favor, Travis. When we put this up, can we include a poll?
Yes.
Asking people if they would like romance and smut authors to get rid of the word seed.
Right.
I'll
write that down. His sex entered my sex. So, as we land this plane, so this is not about personal drama for us. This is Musk ignoring Grimes is egregious. Like, I should not have to go on Twitter to get my baby daddy to talk to me. Like, you should pick up the phone, my dude. Like, I'm calling you. It should be warning, baby mama's calling.
As horrible as that is for her to have to do that, I wish she was the only one who's had to do that. But
no,
sadly, we have seen regular people, and why we talk about these cases, because
I'm sure there's a Reddit.
Elon Musk is, who he is, and so that's why we talk about him.
Right.
But we will know people in our personal lives who have had to go on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram
in somebody DMs on a social media app that you don't
on Twitch
them.
Now.
Right.
We're having to use social media to force engagement from the person who's supposed to be our co-parents.
That's bullshit.
I've seen it far too often. I think a lot of people have seen it. You've seen your girlfriend have to go on Instagram and tell their child's father, you were supposed to be here
at 5 minutes ago. Like, I would never thought that this
and that's
is where
why
we
talk about these things. It's not just about the salaciousness of Elon Musk and all these women and she had to go on Twitter it's because people see that and then that becomes normalized.
Oh, I can
And
do
then
that to my
other
baby
people
mama.
are now doing that. You're blocking the mother of your children so she can't reach you. And then an emergency happens and she has to go on Facebook. And then the response is, you didn't have to go on Facebook and tell everybody my business. Well, if you answered your phone,
Right.
sir.
Why wouldn't you answer your phone?
If you answered your phone.
So what I want everyone to do is please start paying attention. Like we have lost the need to critically think. And yes, Ava and I are here to help, but we can't do everything for you, okay? We're not your mama. Travis is not your daddy. And this is our polycule, and we don't want nobody else to join it. Like, I'm not going out there and getting any more people anytime soon because we're tired. Mama and daddy are tired.
And I'm not birthing no more babies.
No more babies. So Travis,
yes,
we decided that for this show that we were going to banish people to Skull Island so they could so they could go play with Godzilla and King Kong. Yeah, they can go play with all them creepy collies because we figure if
the kaiju.
The kaiju. Yes. We figured if they made it to this show, they needed to be banished.
Skull Island.
Yeah, so you get to who you want to banish to Skull Island.
You only get to pick one.
Which one?
Make it a good one.
Pick who you want
out of those two, or I can just pick any.
I mean, if you want
pick
somebody,
anyone.
You can pick anybody. It don't have to be these two, but you can pick anybody that's been behaving badly.
Well, I mean, this is like our initial episode, or one of our initial episodes. So let's just start with the basics.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics.
Hope everybody knows what Skull Island is. If you haven't, there's a whole movie and you can find out. But Skull Island is in the universe of the monsters, the big monsters.
Yes. I'm thinking about the first person that I want to see eaten by King Kong, or like Godzilla and King Kong, kind of like
and Mothra,
take an arm, each,
and just pulling at him. Whoa. And for me, it's the Tate brothers. So
high five on that, brother.
Let's go to the Tate.
Let's
start with them.
Island.
Let's start with them, and then we can move down the list.
So the Tate brothers are going to Tate.
They're going first.
You want to tell people why? Because they might not know who the Tate brothers are.
Well, we talked about them.
We have talked about them.
Pod, right?
Well, we did. Yeah. We did. If you haven't heard that episode, you really should. You
if
should.
You don't know who they are, look them up. And,
they're.
I'm sure they will come up again.
Awful, horrible people. I mean, I agree with Travis. I would like to put R. Kelly on the island. R. Kelly, you're fucking trash.
I think I'm gonna back you on that one because going to jail should have been enough to not hear from him.
No, but he's still talking.
And he just recently hopped on a song.
Yeah. What song?
Girl, I will talk to you about it later. But yes, so I am thinking when we have people able to sing a verse from jail.
Oh, you're singing verses.
We should drop them on Skull Island now. I think we should drop them on Skull Island now.
Yeah, he needs
jail is clearly not enough.
He's been needed to go. I have a problem with his whole thing. His whole just.
I think we can do a whole episode just on him at some point.
Yeah, we might get that together. Well, we really appreciate y'all coming on this ride with us for our inaugural episode of men behaving badly.
Wait for episode 2. I'm going to use the word gubernatorial.
Gubernatorial, you mean?
I've been waiting. Yep. Oh, I see, and then I messed it up. Gubernatorial. Yes.
Yes. We use big words. We hope the video isn't awful. We also hope it worked.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, we're just
this is a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Trying to
so you can see our faces, especially Travis's face as he learns each episode what we're going to talk about. And so please find us on all the socials. And listen to not Travis though. He's not on the socials.
I am, but don't find me.
Yeah, just don't find him. Find us. Like I said, email the email.
Find them.
and you'll find Travis, but find us. And if you want to talk to Travis, we're like his secretaries. Not really.
No.
Not
Oh
really.
my God.
Not really. That was a joke. But yeah, we're on all the socials. We're gonna do this, and we hope you love it. And Travis is throwing up the thumbs up, like, hurry up, bitches. So thanks for if you like history and want to learn shit, come over to the Make It Make Sense podcast and listen to us. Ava's been on there a bunch of times. I'm sure she's gonna be back because why not? I love having her on. And yeah, so we hope you have a good day. And also remember, drink your water, be nice to your mother, and don't go chasing waterfalls.
All right.
Everybody else.
And also no scrubs.
Yeah, no scrubs. I don't want
scrubs.
No scrubs. All right, we love you. Bye.
When I flip the script, watch the power unfold. I'm not just a whisper, I'm blazing like gold. In this dancehall vibe, I'm feasting, I'm bold. Revenge on the river, let the truth be told. Men be scheming, men be cheating. Men behaving badly. Men behaving badly. Men be scheming, yeah. And men be cheating, yeah. Men be scheming, yeah. And men be cheating. Men behaving badly. Men behaving badly.